Hello my dear students, I welcome you all on my YouTube channel Curious Physics. Today I am going to start the second part of chapter 3 current electricity. In the previous chapter we have studied basically the concepts like drift velocity and what is electric current and what is the dependence of resistance on temperature. So in this particular topic I am going to start with electric energy and power. So we relate the energy of basically electric current with the potential energy, and after that I am going to relate this with power, But for your basic understanding, the power is nothing but amount of work done per unit time. I hope you have studied this concept in your class 12th. So to develop the concept of electric energy, I am going to, for example, this is a conductor. And in this conductor, let's say this is point A and this is point B, and in this conductor the current is flowing in this direction. Okay, so at point A the potential is VA and point B the potential is VB, let's say. Okay, so and we all know that the current will flow from high potential to low potential. So in this case VA is greater than VB. Okay, are you able to understand my point? And let's say Q is the charge, or you can say that Q by T is equal to current. Okay, these are the basic things we already know. Okay, after that, let's say at point VA potential energy, at point UA potential energy is potential into charge, so Q into VA, and potential energy at B is Q into VB. And potential energy difference, what will be the potential energy difference? Final potential energy minus initial potential energy. This is the potential energy difference, and that will be Q into VB minus VA. And let's say you can assume VA minus VB is equal to V, because VA potential at A is greater than potential at B. So you can write minus Q into V. This is basically the potential energy, change in potential energy. You can write Q from this particular concept. You can write in place of V into I into, you can say, I into T. This is delta U. Are you able to understand this particular concept? This is the change in potential energy. So change in potential energy is negative or positive. From this particular derivation, you know that the change in potential energy is negative. Mean to say that when charge flow from to A point to B point, its potential energy decrease. From this particular concept, you can say that when charge or current move from A to B, potential energy decrease. If potential energy decrease, then according to the concept of law of conservation of energy, you can say that if potential energy decrease, then kinetic energy should increase, because potential energy plus kinetic energy is equal to constant, is equal to constant. Okay, if potential energy reduce or decrease, then kinetic energy have to increase. Are you able to understand my point? But you already discussed in the previous part that kinetic energy is constant. Why? Because all the charge particles move with all the charge particles move with drift velocity, constant drift velocity. Are you able to understand my point? If the potential energy of charge particles decreases when they move from point A to B, then in this case, there, according to conservation of energy, kinetic energy should increase. But the kinetic energy is constant because velocity is constant, and that is drift velocity. Mean to say that this particular decrease in potential energy dissipates in form of, or you can say from this particular concept, you can say that this decrease in potential energy dissipates across the conductor, or you can say that across the resistance, because the resistance is offered by a conductor. Are you able to understand my point? This is the basic concept. The change in potential energy means to say that this particular potential energy is VIT is dissipates, or you can say the wasted, when this particular charge particles move from point A to point B. So this change in potential energy is basically nothing but this particular potential energy is dissipates, or you can say that wasted across the resistance. So you can say that delta U is equal to VIT, and you also know that the change in potential energy is equal to work done, and work done is equal to, mean to say that VIT, and work done per unit time is VI, and work done per unit time is power, is VI. This is the basic concept. You have to understand here. Power is equal to V into I, and this particular concept, from where this particular concept is come, because the potential energy dissipates across, or you can say wasted across the resistance. Are you able to getting my point? This is the power. So you can also write, according to Ohm's law, power is equal to I square R, or you can write V square by R. This is the another way to write power. Okay, are you able to understand my point? Okay, this formula you should remember for your board exams. Okay, next is in the same thing, there is a question. The power dissipates across the power transmission lines. So for example, these are you can say, in power transmission lines, you can say that the RC is the resistance of power transmission lines. Resistance of power transmission lines. And R is the resistance of load and power, then power across the resistance will be V into I. Power across the resistance is equal to V into I, and power lost या power dissipates across the power lines. Power dissipates because if these are the lines, you can draw here, if these are the power transmission lines and this is the you can say the load, then this is R and these wires has the resistance RC, then the current will be same. The same current will flow through the resistance R and same current will flow from this particular transmission lines, or you can say the wires. Then the power dissipates across this transmission lines will be I square R. And now, and it is this particular thing, it is our responsibility to reduce the power dissipation or energy loss through these power transmission lines. You have to minimize, or you want to minimize the power loss across these transmission lines, Then from this equation 1, and let's say this is equation 2, you can then from this equation 1 you can say I is equal to P by V, and then PC will become P square dot into R divided by V square. V square is the potential of this particular power, potential across the V is the potential across the transmission lines. So here you can see that if we increase the value of this particular potential difference, the power consumed or power dissipates across the transmission lines will reduce or decrease. So that's why if we increase V, then power dissipation or power wastage will reduce. That's why when you see the danger sign on the power transmission lines are high voltage lines. Why? Because due to high voltage, the transmission energy loss will be minimized. Are you able to getting my point? So this is the basic concept of power and energy in a particular conductor. The topic was electric energy and power. So electric energy is VIT and the power is V into I, and these are basically the other forms how to write this particular thing. Next is cells, EMF and internal resistance. Cell basically is the cell, you can say cell is the basic battery, or you can say the source of cell is basically the source of energy. Cells are basically the source of energy. EMF and these particular cells provide the potential difference. Provide the potential difference, or you can say the energy potential difference across the circuit. You can say that across the circuit. And EMF is the full form of EMF is electromotive force. EMF is basically nothing but electromotive force. This is nothing but electromotive force. The name why electromotive force? This is not a force. This is basically the potential, the maximum potential difference. potential, maximum potential difference provided by the cell, or you can say battery, and the internal resistance is the resistance offered by the battery or this particular cell. Okay, and why EMF? The name is, there is a force, but this is not any kind of force. The name electromotive force is due to historical reasons. The concept of potential difference and other concepts are developed later. So that's why the name EMF is electromotive force. But actually electromotive force is the maximum potential difference provided by the battery. Are you able to understand my point? And the internal resistance is nothing but the resistance offered by the cell. You can say that internal resistance is the resistance of the cell. Okay, and these particular cells, the energy or the potential, the main reason behind the energy or the potential difference is the chemical reaction in cells. These are electrolytes, and these are anode, cathode, you have studied in chemistry. But the main reason behind the potential difference creation in batteries are the chemical reactions. You can write this thing in simple way like this. This is the resistance, and this is basically the battery. This is the resistance, and this is the battery. And internal resistance here can be shown like this. This is the electric circuit of this particular diagram. Okay, so let's say VA, this is point A and this is point B. Okay, let's say VA is the potential, V positive is the potential at point A, and VB negative minus VB negative, you can say, is the potential at point B. Let's say at point B, when there is no current, then the potential difference between point A and point B, when there is no current, then VA minus VB is equal to V positive minus plus VB. This is the potential difference across point A and B, and this particular potential difference is equal to EMF of the cell, EMF of the cell. Okay, this symbol is the EMF of the cell. This is basically, this battery or this cell basically created the potential difference across point A and B. Due to this particular potential difference, the current will flow in this direction. Are you able to getting my point? When this current is flow from point A to B outside the cell, the direction will be this. But to complete the circuit, the direction of current inside the battery is from B to A. Okay, are you able to getting my point? That means if the current passes through point B to A, and B is at lower potential and A is at higher potential, okay, so the maximum potential difference is, you can say, EMF of the cell. But we can say that when the current passing through inside the cell or point B to A, this particular cell also offered an resistance. will also offer an resistance, and that particular resistance is known as internal resistance of the cell. When the current passing through point B to A, this particular cell will also offer a resistance, then that resistance is known as internal resistance. That resistance is known as internal resistance. Okay, are you able to getting my point? And R is the internal resistance. Okay, so the potential difference across the external resistance. Okay, this is EMF of the cell, and let's say small r is the internal resistance. Internal resistance is the internal resistance. Then potential difference available, you can say available for outside resistance, या outside resistance R. Outside resistance R, let's say that value is capital V. V is equal to, this is the EMF of the cell, minus IR. Are you able to getting my point? V is, you can say that this particular I into R is consumed by battery to move the I current through inside the cell. This particular potential used, mean to say that E is the EMF of the cell, the maximum potential available, and from this maximum potential available, IR is the potential used by battery to move I current from itself. Because no particular circuit, no object, or you can say anything, there will be nothing without any resistance. To overcome the internal resistance of the battery has to give some potential to this particular, you can say this particular potential is used by battery. This concept always be in your mind. The IR is the potential used by battery to move I current through itself. This is basically V is equal to EMF minus I into R. So you can say that what is the value of I through the current? So I is nothing but the maximum value of potential according to Ohm's law, and R and outside are in series. You can say that R plus R. This is basically the value. And what is the maximum value of current? Imax will be is equal to E upon R, because you can reduce outside resistance approximately equal to 0, but you cannot reduce the internal resistance of battery is equal to 0 when R is approximately equal to 0. This is the Imax. Are you able to understand my point? This particular concept should be in your mind, that first thing, EMF is the maximum potential provided by the battery, and from this maximum potential, IR potential used by battery to move current I from within itself, and V is the available potential which can be used by the outside resistance to move the current from the particular circuit. This is the relation between EMF and this. You can say that V is also known as junction potential, the potential available for the circuit, This is the potential difference, or the potential available for the circuit. Are you able to getting my point? This is the basic concepts always should be in your mind. Whenever there is a cell or a battery is provided to you, it 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 also have, yeah, there must be an internal resistance. There must be an internal resistance. Okay, are you able to getting my point? Okay, next is, now you have studied the concept of the resistance in series and resistance in parallel in your class 10th. In same way, you have to find the concept. The concept is cells in series and cells in parallel. Cells in series and cells in parallel. So you have to find the basically the equivalent EMF of this all these cells. Okay, let's say first case is the cells in series. Let's say two cells, this cell 1, this cell 2 are in series. This particular cell have EMF E1 and R1 resistance, internal resistance. This is EMF of E2 and R1, R2, the internal resistance of second cell. Okay, and let's say this is point A, this is point B, and this is point C, and current is moving in this direction. Current is moving in this direction. If the cells are in series, then this particular current will always remain same. Then this particular current always remain same. This is also I. This is also I. Are you able to getting my point? Let's say here the task is you have to convert these particular two you can say cells into a one cell. You have to find the situation where E equivalent and R equivalent. Are you able to getting my point? In first case, and this is point A for equivalent, and this is point for you can say C for R equivalent. So VA minus VB, you can say the junction, the potential available for the circuit will be E1 minus IR. We have just studied this. Are you able to getting my point? And VB minus, for this particular, let's say this circuit 1 and this circuit 2, VB minus VC is equal to E2 minus IR. Are you able to getting my point? And for circuit 2, you can say for circuit, this particular circuit 2, VA minus VC is equal to VA minus VC equivalent minus I, because in equivalent circuit this I current will remain same to R equivalent. This is the basically the situation. From this particular two equations, VA minus VC is basically nothing but you have just add these particular two equations. You have to add this particular two equation. You will get E1 plus E2 minus I into R1 plus R2. So you can compare VA minus VC. This, if the left hand side is same, then right hand side is also same. So in series circuit, E equivalent will be equal to E1 plus E2, and R equivalent will always be R1 plus R2. Are you able to understand my point? This is the result of when the cells are placed in series combination. Are you able to getting my point? So if I change the direction of E2, look here, if I, let's say I change this particular direction E2 like this, or I can say I can change the direction, the higher potential and lower potential are interchanged in E2, then what will be the result? This is the generalized result. Then in case of plus, you have to write minus. Okay, so if the cells are in series, and that you can say the lower potential is connected to the higher potential. This is the lower potential. The basically smaller line is lower potential, and the larger line is, the longer line is basically higher potential. So if the higher potential and lower potential of second are connected, then you can say that you have to just simply add. If this particular minus and minus are connected, then you have to write minus, okay. Just follow the basic concept. It is not always E equivalent is equal to E1 plus E2. Always think that if focus on the connections, okay. And R equivalent in case of series is always equal to R1 plus R2 and so on. If there is n number of cells, and all are connected in series, then you have to write E1 plus E2 and so on up to n. If there is R equivalent for that cells, then the answer will be R1 plus R2 and so on up to n. This is the series case, when the cells are connected in series. Are you able to getting my point? Next is cells in parallel. So what is parallel combination? Let's say this is the parallel combination. Let's say I current is passing through this particular parallel combination. And if cells are parallel, then I1 is passing from here and I2 is passing through here. Let's say this cell is E1 and internal resistance is R1. This cell E2 is EMF and R2 is internal resistance. Okay, you have to convert this particular parallel combination to again this type, R equivalent, and I current will pass through this. Okay, so here the basic concept is I is equal to I1 plus I2. You can write I1, you can write I1, or you can say that if V is the terminal voltage means voltage available for the circuit. Let's say that it's point A and it's point B, and the VA minus VB is equal to V. For you can say cell 1, for cell 1 V is equal to, E1 minus I1 R1, and for cell 2 E2 minus I2 R2. Okay, so these two equation you can write find the value of I1 and I2 and put in this. You can say this is equation 1 and this is equation 2 and this is equation 3. So from equation 2 and 3 find the value of I1 and I2 and put in equation 1. So value of I1 is equal to E1 minus V, E1 minus. Here your main task is to use all the calculations, all the available information. You have to reach the relation V is equal to E equivalent minus I into R equivalent. This is the basic concept. So I1 is E1 minus V divided by R. Same I2 is equal to 2 minus V divided by R. So the value of I is equal to E1, you can say this is not R, this is R1 and this is R2. So value of I is E1 minus V divided by R1 plus 2 minus V divided by R2. Okay, next is basically nothing but the just calculation. You can write let's say this particular constant V, and then 1 by R1 if we take minus constant minus V constant, then 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2. 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2, basically you have to this particular I, but you have to change this relation V is equal to. Okay, so here you have to take V is equal to, then V 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2. You take this particular thing from right hand side to left hand side here, and this I2 here you can write is equal to E1 by R1 plus E2 R2, okay, minus I V into, take LCM, and R1 plus R2. There you can say E1 by R1 plus E2 R2 minus I, then cross multiply, then V is equal to E1 R2 divided by this is R1 plus R2, okay, and this E2 R1 plus R2 minus I R1 R2 divided by R1 plus R2. This is nothing but I am just rearranging the term to reach a particular condition where I can basically basically I can compare it with the relation, this relation. I can compare it with this relation. I can compare it with basically this relation. Then you will get V is equal to E1 R2 plus 2 R1 divided by R1 plus R2 minus I into R1 plus R2. This is the basically, okay, if you compare this relation with that particular condition, this is the equation. If you compare with this equation, then you will get this is basically E equivalent and this is basically R equivalent. Okay, this is E equivalent and this is basically R equivalent. Are you able to getting my point? To simplify the terms, or you can say to this is, if two cells are given, then you can easily write this particular thing. You can easily write this particular thing. Okay, are you able to getting my point? This is R equivalent. This is R equivalent. Okay, so from here, just to make our task easy, to make our things easy for us, what we have to do, we E equivalent by R equivalent. If E equivalent by R equivalent, then you can say that you will get E1 by R1 plus E2 by R2. E2 by R2. And what will be the value of 1 by R equivalent? 1 by R equivalent will be 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2. I have just rearranged the terms to make things easy for us. I have just divided this E equivalent, whole E equivalent with this R equivalent. I get a you can say a good looking simple relation. So for n terms, n parallel cells, n number of parallel cells, you can say that E equivalent by R equivalent is equal to R1 plus E2 R2 and so on, En by Rn. and 1 by R equivalent, 1 by R equivalent is equal to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2, 1 by Rn. To make things easy for us, I have just rearranged the term. I have just rearranged the terms. Are you able to getting my point? This relation is important because here the calculation part is there. So for your basic understanding, just try to relate the things. I have just follow the same concept for series as well as for parallel combination, Are you able to getting my idea? Okay. Next is the rules. The basic rules are Kirchhoff's rules. The basic rules are, first one is Kirchhoff's rule, and second one, the first one is junction rule. Are you able to getting my point? Let's just okay. This is basically Kirchhoff's rule. This particular rules are related the two types of rules. One is junction rule and another one is loop rule. First, the junction rule. The statement of junction rule is, at any junction, the sum of the currents entering the junction is equal to the sum of the currents leaving the junction. For example, this is a junction and so many wires, or you can say that so many wires are here, and let's say I1 current and I2 current is coming toward this junction. Let's say junction is J, and I3 current and I4 current is leaving this junction. Then according to junction rule, the I1 plus I2 is equal to I3 plus I4. This particular junction rule says that there will be no accumulation of current, or you can say that there will be no accumulation of charge at a particular junction. Incoming charge or incoming current is equal to outgoing current. There will be no accumulation. There will be no accumulation of charge, or you can say that there will be no accumulation of current. Incoming current is equal to outgoing current for any junction. Incoming current is equal to outgoing current for any junction. Are you able to getting my point? This is the junction law. Okay. Next rule is loop rule. Kirchhoff's loop rule. Loop rule basically nothing but the algebraic sum of changes in potential around any closed loop. Always remember the term closed loop. This particular rule is valid for closed loop. If loop is closed, then particular loop rule is valid. The algebraic sum of changes in potential around any closed loop involving resistor and cells is zero. Cells in the loop is zero. Mean to say that all the potential available in the circuit, in a closed circuit, will used in the circuit. For example, let's say this is the simplest of circuit. This is basically the simplest circuit. This is basically, let's say R is the resistance, V is the potential difference, and I is the current passing through this particular circuit. This is the basic, or you can say the simplest circuit. Then according to this loop rule, the potential difference available for this circuit will be used in this particular circuit. Okay, so all the potential differences, thus algebraic sum of changes in potential difference in a closed loop will be 0. So to solve the questions how to use this loop rule, let's say assume a loop. This is the direction of a loop. This is the direction of loop. Then how to write? If and for any circuit, let's assume the direction of current. I have assumed the direction of this part in this direction. If the direction of loop, here the direction of loop is clockwise and the current is also clockwise, because basic idea you know that the current, the conventional current is flow from high potential to low potential. Okay, so according to this loop rule, this particular current is, and the loop direction is same. The loop direction is same. Then how to write this particular loop rule? How to write this loop rule? Then if this particular current is passing through the resistance, then the potential consumed is minus IR. You have to write minus and multiply the current with the resistance. Okay, and now let's say you are starting from point A and ending your again at A. So in between you have to move from low potential to high potential. Then you have to write plus V is equal to 0. Then IR is equal to minus IR is equal to minus V, minus will cut each other, and V is equal to IR, which you already know, Ohm's law. So loop rule, how to write these particular equations when there are so many resistances and so many currents, or you can say in complex circuits. These particular Kirchhoff's junction rule and Kirchhoff's loop rule is how to write, is basically the challenge is how to write the equation, all the equations. This is if the direction of current and loop is same, then you have to write minus. Okay, and after solving the equations, if you get minus I in the form of, let's say, minus 5 ampere, then what you have assumed, the actual direction of current will be opposite if you end up in solving and get the answer in minus terms. Are you able to getting my point? This is the basic idea. Okay, in this particular example we will learn how to use this junction rule and loop rule, or how to write the equations. Okay, so for example, in this case, let's say at point A you have to apply the junction rule. If I3 current is coming at point A, then the outgoing current I1 and I2 is equal to I3. So at point A you have to write I3 is equal to I1 plus I3. The incoming I1 plus is equal to I2. This is basically the junction rule. The incoming current is equal to outgoing current. Okay. Next, how to apply the loop rule? How to apply the loop rule? Let's say this is the case 1, and basically the closed circuit is AHDB, and the direction is this clockwise. The direction is this clockwise. Then how to write loop rule? As I said, if the direction of this particular loop and current is same, then you have to write minus, and if the direction of loop and current is opposite, then you have to write, you can say, plus. Okay, for example, if I start from point A, then according to this particular loop rule, in particular this loop 1, the equation will be minus 30 I1, because I1 current will also pass through this resistance. Then from D to C, the potential is increasing or decreasing? Potential is increasing. Potential is increasing plus 45 plus 45, then again the current is I3. Now the current is I3 minus I3 1 and minus 40 I3 is equal to 0. Basically, this is the way how to write the equation. Then you are going to write this particular loop rule. For example, next loop is this direction, and the loop is A, B, D, E, F and A. Okay, now I am going to write the equation for this particular loop too. So starting from point A and going in direction A to F, then first of all, potential is increasing or decreasing? Potential is increasing. Then for this second 80, now I2 and 1 minus I2, and this I2 is passing through 20 ohm voltage, so minus 20 I2. Then voltage is increasing or decreasing? Voltage is increasing, so again plus 45 now, and minus I1 I3 and minus 40 I3 is equal to 0. This is the second equation. Now you can write the equation for this particular whole loop. For example, you can take the loop A, G, F, E, D, H and again A, the total outside loop. You can take the outside loop. So you can starting from point A, and the equation will be, first potential is increasing and the direction of loop can be this. So you can write plus 80 minus 20 minus I2 minus 20 I2. You can write this. Now from D2, you can say D2H, the direction of loop and direction of current is opposite. Then you have to write plus 30 I1. You have to write 30 I1 is equal to 0. Now you have four equations. One is this, second is this, third is this, and this is 4. So in this way you can apply this loop rule and junction rule. After solving these four equations, you will get your answer. Okay, the basic is not the length of the equation. The basic idea is how to write the equations. Remember my point. If the direction of loop and current, you have to multiply, you have to put the sign minus and multiply that particular current and the resistance, and the loop and current is opposite direction, then you have to write positive. For example, this particular 30 I1, here the I1 is in this direction and loop in this opposite direction. Okay, are you able to understand my point? Next is this particular case. The question is, I think this is the question. Here the question is, find the equivalent resistance of the network and current along each edge of the cube. You have to find the equivalent resistance of the network, and you know that equivalent resistance of the network is total potential divided by current. You know the value of total potential, but you not know the value of this particular current, and in this case the resistances are not clearly visible. These are in series and these are in parallel. So in this case you can use you can use particular Kirchhoff's rules and find the value of equivalent resistance and current through every particular edge. Okay, let's say the total current passing through this particular circuit is 3I. Total current is basically basically 3I, and due to symmetry, this current is divided into 3 equal parts. There I and I, and again at point E this I divided into 2 equal parts. So that's why there is I by 2 and here is again I by 2, and in particular C the I2 and I2 add and get I current. Okay, so you can use the basically Kirchhoff's rule in this particular case. You can take the loop in this direction. You can take the loop in this direction. So for example, so I current and resistance is R, this is R, this is also R, this is R. Okay, and the value of R is 1 as given in this particular example. Okay, so according to loop rule, you can write, in this case direction of loop and current is same, so you can write I into R here minus I by 2 into R, and again minus I into R for this, plus 10 is equal to 0. You can write I into R plus I by 2 into R minus plus IR is equal to 10. You have just rearranged this particular equation. Now this is IR and 1 by 2, so you will get 5I by 2R is equal to 10. 5I by R is equal to 10. So if you know the value of I, and here R is given in this particular question is 1 ohm, so then the value of I is equal to I, R is 1, then 10 by 5 is equal to 4 ampere. So the total current through this circuit will be, as we know, the total current is 3I. Total current is 3I, mean to say that 12 ampere. So this 12 ampere will pass through this circuit. This 10 volt battery or cell will supply the 12 ampere current. So the R equivalent will be 10 V by I, 10 by basically 10 by 12, so 5 by 6. So this is the value of R equivalent. This is the value of R equivalent, and I is the value is 4 ampere. I value is 4 ampere. So after you put the value of I in all the edges, you will get your answer. Okay, are you able to understand my point? Okay, so basic idea is very simple. You know how to apply this particular loop rule. Okay, next is the question is determine the current in each branch of this particular circuit. So here again you have to write the loop rule, because junction rule is already written there. Okay, for example, the junction rule is, if I1 is coming here, then I2 is going there, then I1 minus I2 is moving this direction. Okay, so you can write the loop rule. For example, in first equation, this is this direction, you can write the loop rule. In this second, you can write in this direction, and this is second, for example, and this is third loop. Okay, now how to write the loop rule? Okay, yeah, or equation. Okay, for first loop, equation will be, for first, you can starting from point A. Okay, if you are starting from point A and know the direction of loop and direction of current is same, then you will write minus 4I2, and now here the direction of current is minus 2I2 plus I3. Okay, and in this direction you can say minus 1 I1 or you can say I1, and potential is increasing, plus 10 is equal to 0. This is equation 1 from loop 1. Now from loop 2 you can again start from point 1, point A. Now the equation will be minus 4 into I1 minus I2. Now the direction of loop is in this upward direction and current is coming down, so you have to write plus, you have to write plus, and the value will be 2 into I2 plus I3 minus I1, and again direction is same, minus I1 plus 10 is equal to 0, plus 10 is equal to 0. This is equation 2. Or in equation you can write equation 3 by applying this loop rule on this particular third point. So you can start from point D, and then you have to, then the value will be 2 into I3, potential will be increasing, then 5, then in this direction minus 2 into I2 plus I3, and minus 2 into I2 plus I3 minus I1 is equal to 0. These are the three equations you can write with the help of KVL, or you can say Kirchhoff's loop rule or Kirchhoff's voltage rule. Okay, these are the basically three equations. The basic concept is how to write the equation with the help of Kirchhoff's rule. Basic concept should be in your mind. After solving this particular equation, you will get your answer. That is very simple. You have simple mathematics. You can use simple mathematics. Basically here you have three equations, 1, 2, 3, and the basically three variables I1, I2, I3. So you can easily solve this equation and get the value of I1, I2 and I3. And after using this I1, I2, I3, you can get the values of currents in all the branches. But basic idea of this example is how to use this particular junction rule and how to use this particular loop rule. Loop rule. I think, are you able to understand my point? Okay, so that's it from now. For now, the remaining topic is Wheatstone bridge and the questions of exercise, in which I will give you the hints. So that's all from my side, and I hope you will study these particular concepts very well. And for feedback, you can write in my comment section. So that's it from my side. Take care. Thank you so much. Keep studying. Okay. Bye bye. Take care.